What's up, everybody? It's Jason Cruz once again with the legal submission. And this time we're going to take a look at the Oliver Luck Vince McMahon lawsuit, which is starting up once again. And the big issue this time around, or at least what's going to be discussed at a discovery conference on Thursday, December 17th, are the contents of an iPhone and passcode of the iPhone that is in possession of Oliver Luck. To take a step back here, you might recall that Oliver Luck was appointed commissioner of the XFL last year as that league started up operations yet again. This time, Vince McMahon was not taking a outwardly front person role in this iteration of the league. Rather, he would let Luck and others run the league. All seemed good at the beginning, but then, as we know, COVID hit and the league deteriorated and eventually ended up in bankruptcy. Luck left his position at the XFL, and when he was let go by the XFL, or its holding company Alpha Entertainment, he was fired. Luck maintains that the firing was a pretext, so they wouldn't have to pay him his unpaid salary. Luck claims he was due $23 million of unpaid salary as a result of his termination from his position at the XFL. Interesting enough, Luck had negotiated a personal guarantee from Vince McMahon. A personal guarantee guarantees that Vince McMahon would pay Luck's salary regardless of what would happen with the XFL, which sounds like a very smart and savvy business decision, because Luck perhaps secured his salary and employment through a personal guarantee through McMahon. So in instances like this, where the organization goes through bankruptcy, he would have some sort of security in knowing that he would have the money paid at a later date, regardless of whether the company did not have the assets to do so. And that was through the guarantee through Vince McMahon. McMahon, of course, runs the World Wrestling Entertainment Organization, and from the pleadings, he is what you would say solvent. Anyway, the XFL went through the bankruptcy, and McMahon's attorneys attempted two things. First thing is to argue that they didn't owe Luck the money because he was terminated for cause. Terminated for cause meaning that there was a reason Luck was fired, and it could be, and in most employment cases, there is a termination for cause as a result of not abiding by the company policy or company rules. There were at least three issues that were brought up by McMahon's attorneys. The first being the fact that he left the office to go back home to Indiana in, I believe, March, and that the XFL cited as a reason why he should be fired he was fired for cause, because he left his post. Obviously, Luck will argue that due to the pandemic, he left to stay at home, and he could have always argued that he was able to work at home, or at least be contacted by individuals regarding the XFL business. Secondly, there was an issue related to the types of players that Luck allowed to be signed. That seems to be a lesser issue at this point, although that might come up. The main emphasis there was that McMahon wanted players that did not have arrests or a checkered past or anything like that. And one of the players that Luck signed had issues in the past. And what happened was that this particular player, after being signed, hurt himself and was out for the whole year. And due to the fact that he signed a contract with the XFL was on the hook for paying him. And that probably angered McMahon, for one, because he had to pay someone who wouldn't be playing on the field, and two, for the fact that this particular individual had a checkered past. He did some bad things in the past, and McMahon wanted more players that were had higher. McMahon wanted players that did not have these particular criminal histories or past bad wrongs, or any. McMahon wanted players that did not have these types of prior criminal acts or prior bad wrongs. And McMahon wanted players that did not have checkered pasts. So what about the iPhone? Well, one of the issues, and it seemed laughable when reading the pleading, but XFL argued that Luck did not return his company-issued iPhone, and that I laugh at that because nowadays, and many of the companies and businesses, you see that they issue iPhones regularly, and returning an iPhone when you leave a job is pretty much standard. The one thing that is coming up in this particular lawsuit is the fact that they are claiming that Luck is not turning over the iPhone, and he's not giving up the passcode, because he claims that Luck is arguing that he has admitted that he's used the iPhone for both professional business at the XFL as well as personal use. And so the issue of the iPhone and obtaining the contents and knowing the passcode is not relevant, because he's already admitted to this particular issue. Now, with that being said, it's almost inferred that there would be a level of personal business done on the company iPhone, just because that you're using the phone, either texting or emailing or doing whatnot, and you might receive calls from a personal acquaintance or your family members, or there is a family emergency and you need to call somebody, or you're just ordering food on the way home after a long day of work. At this particular point, the XFL is saying that they need to examine the contents of the iPhone, what's in there, what's not in there, what type of business Luck might have been doing at the time, to determine whether or not his claims against the WWE are valid, as well as maybe perhaps confirming the XFL's claims that he was using a company phone for personal purposes. The only thing that I could think of here is whether Luck was doing something untoward or giving away trade secrets to a competitor with the company phone. That is the only really egregious thing that I could see happening related to this particular phone. Now, as I indicated, the parties will have a hearing on December 17th, which today I'm recording it on the 16th. The 17th is tomorrow, to discuss the merits of obtaining the passcode of the iPhone to see what is in it. This lawsuit will be very contentious because it deals with a lot of money. It deals with a personal issue, meaning Luck's being fired and his credibility at this particular time as the commissioner of the XFL. The XFL and Vince McMahon are likely going to argue that they, with cause, fired Oliver Luck, meaning that they don't have to pay his $23 million salary because he did not abide by the company policy. Now, it's an interesting case because, as we know, the XFL went into bankruptcy, and this particular lawsuit was put on hold until the end of the bankruptcy. And as we know, The Rock actually purchased Danny Garcia, The Rock's business partner and ex-wife, actually purchased the XFL, and it will reemerge next year. 2022. And will be a whole new entity without Vince McMahon. This lawsuit may continue on until the new XFL reemerges. My sense is that this will be a very contentious lawsuit. I would expect the party to settle at some point, maybe not immediately, but at some point. Whether or not the contents of the phone will be revealed will be a initial discovery question. Obviously, it's my impression that McMahon's attorneys are just trying to make it difficult for Oliver Luck at this particular time. Oliver Luck obviously has the funds to go through with this lawsuit. One of the things that Luck probably is fighting here is for his own professional appearance regarding this stint as being commissioner of the XFL. His reputation within the sports community and sports industry is probably more valuable than the money he's going to receive, because one would expect that Luck wants to maintain employment somewhere else in the near future, and obviously going into business with Vince McMahon might be a little bit, as you could believe, harrowing because of McMahon's prior business reputation with the WWE. We will continue to follow this lawsuit, which should take us into 2021. Once again, this is Jason Cruz, MMA Payout, and this edition of The Legal Submission.